From the second you wake up, your eyes and ears are processing a relentless barrage of screens, audio streams, and targeted messages. We summarize a massive portion of that daily noise with one familiar word: advertisement. The origin of that word goes back to two Latin roots: ad, meaning toward, and vertere, meaning to turn. Together, it translates to turn toward. Biologically, it describes a basic reflex. You hear a loud sound, and you physically turn your head to process the stimulus. But when someone hijacks that biological reflex for a deliberate commercial purpose, a simple distraction becomes a calculated pitch. If a friend shouts your name across the street, you turn toward them. That is communication. Getting someone to look at you doesn't automatically mean you are advertising to them. To figure out exactly where casual communication ends and the commercial industry begins, we have to look to the American Marketing Association. This architectural blueprint illustrates their gold standard definition: any paid form of non-personal presentation and promotion of ideas, goods, or services by an identified sponsor. It reads like a legal contract because it acts as a forensic filter. It isolates deliberate market influence from the background noise of everyday life. Looking closer at this blueprint diagram, we can pull apart the exact anatomy of a pitch. The absolute first rule is financial. If no payment is made to air, print, or host the message, it is not an advertisement. It also cannot be a one-on-one conversation. Whispering a product recommendation to a friend is private word of mouth. Advertising requires a non-personal message broadcast publicly to a larger audience. Next, a true advertisement never hides who funded it. The sponsor paying for the message is always identified, and that sponsor doesn't have to sell physical goods. They can sell intangible services like insurance, or promote conceptual ideas like a public health campaign. Those four requirements: payment, a public broadcast, a clear sponsorship, and a defined offering, construct the mandatory structural container for any advertisement, regardless of the media channel it lives on. Once you have that structural container built, you have to fill it with something that actually does the work. An ad always provides information, but it couples that data with a heavy layer of persuasion to drive a call to action from the consumer. This flowchart illustrates the two distinct paths a call to action can take. It can be a direct command, explicitly telling you to buy a product right now, or an indirect ripple effect, designed to slowly build brand goodwill for the future. To execute either of those effectively in a loud, crowded market requires human creativity. Without a creative engine driving the message, the ad fails to trigger that biological reflex to turn toward it. And if no one looks, the entire commercial structure is completely useless. For decades, the execution of this model was strictly linear. An identified sponsor created a message, broadcast it widely to the masses, and hoped it moved the market. While traditional formats still exist, the massive shift in consumer attention toward interactive apps and social feeds makes the digital ecosystem the dominant modern frontier. Modern advertising requires constant adaptation. Creative messages are continuously molded to fit seamlessly into fast-moving, interactive platforms and search engines. This diagram shows a multi-tiered digital funnel, highlighting how campaigns actively guide individual users step by step through a precise, interactive journey. As users move through that funnel, every action is measured. Advertisers rely heavily on data analytics to track behavioral changes and attribute direct revenue impact. The result is a modern advertisement that operates as a living, adapting, and continuously tracked system. Step away from the data analytics for a second and look at the physical world as a consumer. Every sponsored post in your feed, every commercial before a video, and every billboard you pass today built using this exact forensic blueprint. The next time you instinctively turn toward a flashing screen, you are interacting with a highly engineered, deeply measured, and strategically paid system designed